Welcome to AI Now with Oracle, a series where we explore the world of enterprise artificial intelligence and its impact on the world of work. I'm Miranda Nash, Group Vice President, Oracle AI, and in each episode, we'll dive deep into the latest trends, breakthroughs, and considerations surrounding AI technology. Whether you're an AI enthusiast, a business leader, or just curious about the future, this series is for you. This week, I'm welcoming XD Huang from Zoom to discuss building an AI-first culture. Before we dive in, just some quick housekeeping notes. Feel free to use whatever platform you're tuning in on to ask all your burning AI questions or provide your own insights and expertise. We'll do our best to respond to as many of your questions as possible, and who knows, maybe your inquiries or comments will even inspire one of our upcoming episodes. Okay, let's get into it. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome XD Huang. Thank you so much for joining us, XD. We all use Zoom as a product, and we love the Zoom product. But can you tell our audience here more about the company and about your role in particular?
So I'm a CTO of Zoom. I have been with the company for almost 2 years. Zoom is a verb that is well known in every country. But what we are trying to do is really remake ourselves. We used to be a meeting company. We're still a meeting company, but we want to provide productivity platform for all organizations. But the AI first is really the iconic modifier. We believe that in the AI era, productivity will be redefined. With AI, every company is still trying to really adjust, trying to add AI here and there with the hope that they can further enhance what it does. The approach we are taking is fundamentally different. We believe that with AI, the task completion is the most important priority.
Mm-hmm. And so internally, has it been how have you encouraged your employees to adopt, AI first mentality? Mm-hmm. In engineering, I'm sure you have, but in other parts of the business as well, finance, HR, marketing, is it really pervasive within Zoom?
So the good news about Zoom is that we use Zoom a lot, meeting, right? And if you think about the business functions, meeting is probably the most important business function. If there's important things, people love to actually, talk about, make sure all parties are aligned. Mm-hmm. So meeting always is in the front and the center of the business functions. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying other functions are not important. They are important. But what the vision we have is when you have a meeting, you talk about the business priorities and action items. The AI companion, that is our flagship companion, should really track what is important, get action item identified, and have the meeting minutes delivered with the highest quality. We do not stop there. We want that action item to flow naturally into the life cycle of everything you need to help you complete the task. Now in the AI era, I believe that action-oriented information flow is the most important.
Okay, so let's get more into that. Look, we all use Zoom, we all use documents, and we use enterprise applications as well in our companies, right? And so having those be AI first and help companies make that change is really important. You've described some of those ways. As you're, going from meetings to milestones, I think is the term. I'd love to hear more about that and how you're thinking about kind of, reorienting your whole approach to be AI first. I guess I'd like to think, how is that also relevant for your customers who have their own business challenges they're dealing with, right? And need to transform as well.
All the businesses, whether small or big, when they have a meeting, we want convert that meeting to help them to achieve their milestone. That's why I use the soundbite from meetings to milestone. It's all about help customers to achieve milestone. In the meeting, of course, they have a conversation like you and me, right? We want to have that conversation leading to completion of their task. So from milestone to completion, that are the ultimate goal on productivity. We're not dividing the task based on the document types and then allocate them into PowerPoint or Excel or Microsoft Word. We are talking about using AI to identify the most important task, have that task showing up in whatever applications you are using. And the AI companion will be your companion to monitor what is going on. Is there any new information from the web or any new information from your colleague? Then we will synthesize that information together to help you complete the task to deliver the best you can deliver.
So productivity, clearly a big intended benefit from AI, and especially from AI agents, right? And I think we at Oracle are reimagining SaaS applications, packaged applications, to be dynamic based on AI agents in the agentic era. I think you've also talked about an agent framework in Zoom. What does that look like to you and your customers?
So AI Companion, when we launched this one, we had this AI agent in mind. It is actually really agentic already. Let me give you an example. When you present in the meeting, we have the ability to transcribe your voice. We have the ability to understand what you are presenting on the screen in the slides. We have the ability to understand what people are interacting on the chat. And we are able to really synthesize all of them together in the form of meeting minutes, in the form of next steps, action item 1, 2, 3, who should be doing what. So this summary is only the starting point. As I said, action will flow from meeting to Zoom docs. If you need to write your next presentation for your customer meeting, the action item, what you talk about, will be the beginning to form a draft by AI company in Zoom docs. Therefore, your productivity on the repetitive work is done, and you can really focus on the most important strategic aspect of how you want to engage with customer. What the AI company can help you further is there may be information you are not aware of in the meeting. Therefore, AI company is fetching web information dynamically to put that information to augment what you need to really be aware when you engage with your customer.
So you've talked about reinventing Zoom really to be AI first and moving from the concept of meetings to milestones, and talked a lot about productivity. Can you help us kind of with what that means internally to Zoom? And then let's talk about culturally. What did you have to do to make that type of a change?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Zoom is embracing AI wholeheartedly, from our CEO to the board of directors. And so that support is just phenomenal. But in order to really get the whole company embrace this one, we need to really make sure the whole company understands the importance and the culture. If you think about the AI first environment, I would say it's data-centric. How we can really make sure we learn from the data and use a massive amount of GPUs, and Oracle offers amazing OCI services on that, and then achieve that agentic reasoning capability to complete a task. So that is very different from traditional software. You have the software, you do the test, you design the UI, and you ship. Here, the outcome is not 1 or 0. It's not
non-deterministic, right?
So in that environment, it's very important to make sure there's a continuous learning process to improve and refine end-to-end experience. So from that point of view, the experimental culture is very important for the AI team. The importance of data, experimental mindset, I would say, is probably the fundamental change.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Data being at the foundation, and then learning to have to iterate, to be experimental. It's very interesting. We also are reinventing in terms of our software development with those principles. But it's fascinating to hear from some of our finance departments and HR departments, supply chains that are also reinventing with those same principles. So it's great to hear. And you've talked about having an agentic framework and the agents being at the core of of kind of this new level of productivity. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. To be agentic, there are really 4 important dimensions I want to highlight. The first one is really AI need to really reason and think about the context, come up with good, meaningful outcome. The ability to reason is important. That's the most important thing. Of course, you need to reason with memory. And if you have short-term memory, don't forget about what happened a month ago. That is not going to be effective. So the second important dimension, agentic AI system should have good memory. The third one is really, we should be able to be proactive. Right now, most of the AI services like Copilot, ChatGPT, they are reactive. Mm-hmm. They don't proactively help you to do things you need to do in the right place and the right time. Mm-hmm. And so agentic should be autonomous and help to execute the tasks or remind you on things that are important. So, of course, you will be still able to make a decision. Mm-hmm. The human is in the loop. Last but not least is agentic usually will orchestrate multiple steps and multiple agents together seamlessly to help you complete a complex, difficult task. So those 4 things combined differentiate what a good AI agent is. That is really the dream for any software, right? Mm-hmm. In the software world, 30 years ago, it was very simple. You have to have exact command, exact input. If you type one letter wrong, you can't just move forward. With graphic user interface, it's easier. With browser, it's even easier. You just click on the point, you see what you get. But it's all reactive. Right. It doesn't orchestrate anything. It doesn't reason anything. It will just give you information. So this is really a game changer. Yeah. Comparison to what happened, what people have used and benefit from the software revolution.
Yeah, building on what you said, I mean, what I think is so powerful is that software engineers don't have to predict the future like we did, in the past, envisioning all possible edge cases. And this is part of, kind of the dynamism that you've talked about or you implied. And some people describe agents as like an assistant, but I've heard you use a much more provocative description yourself.
It is, in a sense, approaching the level of a system, but it can actually amplify the ability of a system. The example is, I have my meeting. I no longer need my chief of staff to write down meeting minutes or follow up with who should be doing what. Mm-hmm. AI company does that already.
Like a chief of staff.
Like a chief of staff.
Absolutely. That's clearly the vision. One thing Zoom and Oracle have in common is the importance of security and privacy to both of our businesses. And along with that is, responsible development of AI. So what does that look like to you at Zoom?
Yeah, Zoom takes very high standard to secure the data and preserve privacy. We do not use any custom data in the meeting to train our AI. So that's number one. As I said, the data is in the front and the center of AI. We do not use any custom data. So this is really one of the challenges we're facing. So as a solution to that is we go to acquire data from third party, not using custom data to improve our AI. That is how we approach this problem. So this is far more costly, but we respect that privacy and security of data.
Again, very similar principles that we use, the data being the foundation, meet customers where they are with a range of choice. And we're also bringing that at an agent level now with the ability to extend kind of what we're delivering out of the box with agents for customized agents for our customers as they're thinking about how to bridge silos. Is that a principle that you're adopting at Zoom as well?
Yes.
Type of?
We are creating this horizontal AI platform. AI Companion is the capability we are enabling not only information worker, Zoom meeting, but also business services from customer support to revenue accelerator. There's a whole bunch of things They are all built on the same foundation. That is our AI platform. Our AI platform is able to have major capability to support first-party agentic skills, such as scheduling a meeting like a EA, write meeting minutes like your chief of staff, or like a project manager to track the task that you need to complete in the next month or so. So those agentic skills are working seamlessly together with third-party skill. If you have Jira ticket you want to manage, we can have Jira AI agent participating in the AI companion. AI companion is the interface you need to really just go and interact with. It's like a ChatGPT that understands your work, meeting, and web.
And calling the external tools. And maybe finally we can kind of meet the promise that our industry has had for our customers for quite some time.
Absolutely. I think the capability of AI is improving every 6 months. It's just completely different. Just like very much like a child grows so fast.
I've also heard, with technology, we can get so frantic and changing context and changing attention. I think, what do you think about using AI to help us be more productive in a larger sense, I guess, in our day-to-day lives?
Yes. As I said earlier, action-oriented information flow. The key word is flow.
Flow.
We do not want to break your flow. Whatever you are doing in that flow, we want information to flow with you, with action you can take, with quality decision you can achieve. So that is really the highlight of AI agentic capability. So that action-oriented information flow will help you to achieve what you need to achieve. That's why from meeting to milestone is going to lead to the flow from meeting naturally to the milestone you need to achieve. The higher the AI capability, the higher the milestone you're going to achieve. And from conversation to completion is the same story. From conversation to completion, that is a long journey. There are multiple things you have to really engage or utilize, right? We want to help you in that journey to complete your task with best quality you can imagine. That is the promise of agentic AI.
Yeah, that's such a powerful story. I mean, like focus being our kind of our limited dimension, right? And AI being able to help with focus to achieve flow.
Yeah,
I love that story. In closing, I like to ask folks if they can share something that's going on in AI now that you just have found really exciting personally, or that's really, helped you in your life or your work, something our audience might not know about.
I want to actually share the amazing breakthrough that the Zoom AI team achieved. Probably most people, they're not aware of. We have decided to really pursue small language model. If you look at the current state of the art, large language model, they are huge. The parameter could be 1 trillion. So we decided to focus on 2 billion small language model category we call SLM. There are reasons why we want to pursue this one. Let me explain why this is such an amazing breakthrough. So Zoom pushed hard. We created our own small language model from ground up, not distilled from large language model. That is, typically practiced by many companies. We created from ground up, use our own harvest data, GPU, and recipe. In that 2 billion small language model category, Zoom outperformed everyone in the world. So this is already in production of Zoom AI Companion in Zoom Workplace. That is one example how effective this is going to be to manage the cost and the performance. Really have a targeted scenario. We believe that moving forward with our AI Studio, people can just take the small language model, customize it for their agent. So for each agent, you can easily equip that with 2 billion parameter small language model, have that working together with OpenAI or Anthropic large language model together. So that is our federated AI approach. That's very unique.
That's a great story of innovation with the SLM. Can you share with our listeners what it means to them? What's the benefit?
So the benefit really is latency is much faster. When you have a small language model, you can get the answer faster. And cost is also less because you don't need to really have this huge GPU cluster to run inference. The limitation is you customize this for only specific task. If you use this SLM for the task beyond what is defined, will not work well. So both large language model and the small language model will work together in a federated way. Very much like, when a CEO is assembling a team together, you have some generalists, you have some specialists. You need both to have them working together as a team. So our vision is when people using Zoom AI Studio to create an AI agent, each agent can be customized with a small language model. Then they can be orchestrated together with a large language model to work seamlessly. That is the benefit.
Very clear. Generalists, specialists collaborating together along with people doing their best work. This has been such an interesting conversation. XD, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
And thank you for tuning in. If you want more updates, musings, and AI news, make sure to subscribe to Oracle's YouTube channel and follow us on social media. See you next time.